Okay, pilots, here we go. I got my Albatros here, and if you've built a Dynam, you kind of know how their instructions go. You just, at least it tells you what size screw you use, Okay. So I got my landing gear, my bottom wing on. I got my tail on back there. Now the tail is part of the course. You get your rudder there lined up with the elevator. You get it snapped in there, slide it in, and it just took a little bit to get those screws lined up with the base. I have to be honest with you on this one. It wasn't easy, and the wing has got 4 comes in from the bottom, and to be honest, it wasn't really easy to get in either. So we've come to the point of what I was going to tell you is the instructions tell you to put the landing gear on first and then the bottom wing. Well, you can't do that if the landing gear's on. Well, there's 2 ways of doing that. Because this screw back here, if you can't see it, I'm kind of giving you an idea. It's in an angle because due to the plane being rounded. And if you got the wing on, you can't get a screwdriver up there because your wing is in the way. So 2 ways about it. You can put your wing on, but don't put screws in it. Leave it loose and hang it down here and get your landing gear screw, and then get your wing up in there and put your screws in. Or you can put like a Phillips head bit on a ratchet and maybe get a ratchet in here and get to it that way. But that I'm just explaining to you what you're gonna be looking forward to. Now this brace right here and this brace up here. The instructions doesn't tell you which one goes where. I had to look at the picture on the box to see that the little small single goes to the front. The V was in the back. Okay, on this one, it's got this little clip right here that goes into this little small bar. Okay, so you've got to take your screw out and try your best to leave that little nut in the insert that's made into it. Okay, I knew I'd forget to. I knew it. Okay, there's a nut. It fits into an insert, and you bring the screw through. It's got a fine thread on it. You put it on a nut. But up here, it's kind of like a snap together. So you get your screw, leave your nut in it. You got your brace. You got it in an angle, one way or the other. I can't remember which one it is, where you put it. But you put it in an angle, and you got a fork down here. And you got a stem on your brace. And that stem's got to go on the inside of the fork and then snap into the fork this way. So you've got to have it in an angle, get it in there, get your bottom, your main piece here lined up, get it lined up, hold this, snap this, and then push that down. Okay? So it's not fun. You get your screw in there and you get it tightened up. All right? So the instructions, like I said, it doesn't tell you which size, so you've got to look at this little snap here and look at this at the end and see which one goes in the correct way. That's the only thing I can tell you. And then I didn't put a 2-part epoxy on it. I just put some foam tack that comes with the Dynam planes around that. Just to kind of hold it in there, help hold it in. Okay, now here's an extra little challenge I put on myself. That the plane actually does not have factory. Okay, and you can see my base right here. This is actually what I put in. This wasn't in the factory. That's a base. Excuse me. Just had me a glass of Pepsi. That's a base that I put in myself. All right, because my cables for the Dynam PT17 was not long enough to get down here to this, which would have been awesome if it would have, but it just didn't. But maybe if I could have found them, the cables for the Tiger Moth might have been long enough to do something like that. And it has set with two for each side. One come this way, and then you had the others that came from this way and went down here somewhere. The landing gear screws would have been perfect for a little setup for cables for this one. So maybe an idea that somebody, if they got one, you know, look around and pray, because I can't find none. Can't find nothing for Dynam no more. But we're going to attempt to get the wing on. And I've got motor in, machine guns, my Adolf Hitler pilot. And I'll check him out. You gotta look at Adolf back there flying the plane. It's one of those extreme pilots. Got that at Graves RC. But I'm sorry, pilots. I got the last one I had, but they might get some stock in. So let's go. First thing I gotta do, I gotta take these screws back out that's got my cables on. I just put them on there to see to get the length and everything lined up and so forth. If I let one fly, I'm sorry. But this is kind of tedious. Make sure I don't lose the screw. Well, I'm not really worried about dropping it if I can't find it. Oh, Lord have mercy. My desktop over here, it looks like a screw factory, because I got all my spare screws spilled out all over because I've been trying to find stuff to use to do all this with. Couldn't use the original screws that goes in this right here to hold the wing on. The heads of the screw was so big, so small, they went right through the hole of the cable loop here. So I had to come up with another idea. So I got coarse thread screws that's long enough to go all the way through the mount, instead of the fine thread screws that they put in it. And I got to keep these separated because this one goes on that side. That one goes on, they different lengths. That's why my bracket is back this way a little bit. See that? See, it's not lined up with this right here. It's back about an inch and a half maybe. Plus, you know, this way too. Closer. Let me get the other side ready. The wing has a little nub sticking out of it that slides down into a groove. It's cut into this brace, and then you put the screw through the brace, through the nub, then back throughout the outside of the brace to mount the wing. I got little slots in it there where you line up the wing, slide it in. But just getting all four of these things, I'm going to try to get two in the center and just get them lined up and get screws in it. Not tighten them up, but just get them lined up, get them in there. And then get the back, the two outsides lined up. You have to put fine thread screws with a nut on the back of it when you put the ones on the back. Or the ones on the outside, excuse me. Nope, don't fall. Make sure them separated. Alright, here we go. I've got a wire harness I've got to hook up here. And believe it or not, pilots, you got to run the wire right down through the front eye side of the pilot to go back down in the fuselage. It don't run down one of the brackets or nothing like that. It just hangs right down. Unbelievable. Well, that's okay. That's all. There's a hole cut right here where you gotta stick the wire down into. And then I got to take either my 90-degree file and try to hook that wire and pull it. Or take some black tape or something, do something. Goodness gracious, I gotta do something back. Okay. Let's see. Nope, I just know what. There's no what. Let's see. And on that side, oh, I know what that is. That's my slot for my radiator hose. I got to put that, so that's the only place you can go with it, pal. Just straight down into the fuselage right there. It's got a plastic square loop around the wires there to help support it, that's glued in so that they won't slide out of the little channel that they in. I might run into a problem where my cables is too short maybe or something. I tried to leave everything loose where I could get, you know, but sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Goodness gracious, did I get the wrong one? I thought it was done. Trying to put the wrong one in. That's why it was too short. Let me make sure here. Let me get that other and hold it up there. These things are they'll twist on you. They get twisty on you. Now that's got to go to that one. This has got to go to this one. I might be a little bit short, but we're gonna see. Oh, trying to get that screw started ain't gonna be fun. It ain't gonna be fun. I might have to get an even longer screw or something. What in the world is going on now? The bracket's come apart. Yeah, that's done. That's done. The bracket's just gonna fall apart on you while you're trying to get the thing together. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? While you're trying to screw the thing together, it falls apart. The cable wants to spin with the screw, and I can't hold it with one hand and hold that bracket together with the other. Okay, that's that one. You need 3 hands to do things like this. 3 hands, it takes 3 hands. is. Yeah. Taking the screwdriver and putting the screw in it, getting it through the cable. Get the screw up to the hole. Hold the bracket together, barely try to turn the screw. Come on, ice cream. The cable's gonna spin around, but that's just okay till I get it started. Okay, there you go. There you go. She's going. The bed is squeaking. Oh yeah, I'm spent. Get the cable thing back on the bottom. Okay, that's that one started. And my axle for the wheel here hits my chain on my stand here, so it's kind of tough to get it to set still. So I'm off to the other side. Wish me luck. Let's see if my cable's going to stretch over here. Get the bracket snapped back together. You get the screw up to the hole here. Screwdriver in the screw. Try to twist it. There you go, cable just will not spin. Will not turn, will not sit still. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Screw, nurse. Oh, wait a minute. Just a screw. Just a screw. Snap my bracket back together here. Let me do that with my hand. I didn't see nothing, no parts flying, so evidently it snapped back together with no damage. You know how that goes sometimes. Let me let go of it for a second to get the screw in the loop. Get in the loop. I knew it. I knew it. Get in the loop. You got to look at the screw and make sure you got the one that you dropped, not some other that you dropped 6 months ago. Let me get this thing. Yeah, adding the cables has been adding a little bit of a pain. they just keep spinning and getting up there in your way. You just got to keep maneuvering them back, getting them out of the way. I got the tab bent a little bit. You know how if you built a Dynam playing with these little cables on them. You know how the little looper is made. Alright, I've got that tightened up a little bit. Let's see here. Let me get my bracket here tightened up. Remember, I got them loose too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I still got to tighten this a little bit. It's like tuning up a piano now. You gotta be real nice and easy. You can't just take off a screw. You got to feel it, old girl. You got to feel these screws. You got to feel them. You got to feel them tighten up. You don't want nothing snapping and breaking. No stripping out. This is important here. These brackets are functional. Can't get a hold of that one. Let me get over here. That's looking good. That's looking good. Now let me get down here. I did tighten these up here. Well, my swag measurement there was pretty good on them cables. Pretty tight. I got one loose over here for some reason. I don't understand that. Oh, that was I put a 2mm countersunk FMS screw in it right there. It's got a 2mm on it. Let me see here. Let me do something quick. Let me see if I can leave a little bit here. Yep, loosen that a little bit and tighten it back. Just kind of make sure everything's slotted right. Yep, that's feeling good. That's feeling good. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So let's get the outside brackets here put on. Now, like I said, we've got a little nut here. I'm gonna show it to you. Whenever I find something that I use that's important and I cannot find it, where is it to? Where are they? I had them out ready to go. I had them out ready to go. I had them right here. Oh, good. Here you are. Okay. Very small nut, very small. Okay, now we've got just a bracket on the inside, a little nub on the wing there sticking out. We've got to line this up with. Now, What do I want? Do I want the nut on the outside or on the inside? I think I'm gonna put it on the inside and leave the screw head on the outside. That might look a little bit better. So I'm simply trying to get things lined up here. Hold my nut on it. Put a screwdriver to it. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little snug on it. I'm done with that. Yes, I bet you it's stuck to that screwdriver. It's slung across the room. Oh, there they are. Okay. Couldn't find the screws. Where's the screws? All right. The screwdriver last night, putting these brackets on. The magnetized screwdriver grabbed a hold of them screws and just slung them when I picked the screwdriver up. Just slung it. Make sure I'm going on there, not cross-threading, because this one's kind of you know, you're in a bind. You're in a bind. I'm in a tight spot. I'm in a tight spot. That should be that one. That should be that side. All right, pilots. I mean, you know, I got to do that the other side. I'm not gonna sit here and make you watch me do it. But we're gonna just kind of take a look at her. I've got the receiver in it, and I've got the hook. Like I said, I got to grab that little wire, pull it through. I don't have a gyro on the receiver right now, but I've got what I've ordered, pilots. I've ordered a gyro that goes in the Arrows F86 that you just run through a regular receiver, and you know, gives you the gyro because it's small and I can get it somewhere in this thing because I can't find a spot somewhere. I'm gonna have to make something, make an area to put a gyro receiver in it, gyro system in it. There's my cables going down. That gum little bracket you got to snap in. But I think she's turned out looking good. Got the decals on it. That off goes down in flames. And that tail, man, I'm telling you, you just got to work with it and get them screws to line up. That's the best I could do on that. Let me put these little hoses on. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. A lot is asked about that. How in the world, where in the world to put them things? Oh. Let's see if I can get them on here. first thing is I couldn't figure out, I had to look at the picture on the box to figure out where that went. That's kind of like a pressure release valve, like, you know, you put on the cap of your radiator in the car. Oh, there it went. So it goes on the top of the wing up here. It's got a little indentation in top of that radiator up there. Let me get it down there. Let's see. It's got a little indentation in the top of it right there that you glue that piece onto right here. See if it'll stay there a second. So I got to glue that on. I'm gonna do that with epoxy though. That's more or less plastic to plastic there. All right, we're looking up here at the front of the engine. Right up here. We got this little gooseneck sticking out there, kind of like a thermostat on your motor. And we got that rod there with the angle with the little rubber fuel tubing on it. And one end is kind of long and flexible there. So whichever end you want to go with, if you want to put the flexible end down here, there's two little nubs sticking out down here on the radiator where you got to put it on. You got to put it on. Oh my goodness. That wing bracket right there. Look at it. There we go. Now then. Yep. We'll swing that around here. Let me turn it a little bit more. There we go. Bend that tube in there and put it on. There's no high pressure to this, anything. We don't need no hose clamps on it. It's just purely, you know, detail. And you got this piece here. All right. Now, it's got a little bit of a flex to it, but you want this end to be pointed down because there's just a slot cut in your foam back here that you slide it, you just putting it down in there, just for it to go in there. And this is not going to be easy. Let me get my head around here where I can at least see what I'm doing. I got to put pressure on the wing. Oh, I missed it. It's like putting a vacuum line on the end of a vacuum hook. I think I got it. But my hose is turned wrong here. I got to try to spin it. Now, that was a chore itself there. All right, let's take a look at this now. Goes up in there on two hoses. And then that goes in a slot up in there. Pointed downward. All right, pilots, let me get them other two screws in. Get my radiator cap on. I'm out.